So one of you sent me some history on the UK crane, and I wasn't aware of this, but these are some old maps showing the former boundaries of Khazaria. And as you can see, it overlays the UK crane almost exactly. Here's the UK crane in this area here, and this whole area is Khazaria. Now we're going to be very careful as we get into today's discussion as it relates to the former Khazaria, which is the modern day UK crane, because this is a very sensitive topic, but you can make your own observations as we move through some of this historical information. Now, many of you have probably already seen bits and pieces of this on other channels. We did not discover this, but I did want to cover it. Here's another map of the former Khazaria under King Bulan. And as you can see, once again, you've got, the boundaries overlapping UK crane. Here's another image as well here. You can see the same boundaries. So these are old maps. And the rabbit trail really began here with this image and the definitive resemblance between the UK crane flag and the Khazarian symbol, as you could see here. And other people had made this observation as well. This is actually from Khazaria. It's an ancient seal. And once you start digging into the history of this, things get pretty convoluted. I tried to read through the whole history of the Khazars and, where they lived, the boundaries of the kingdom, what it meant. Some of them were of certain bluish descent, we'll call it, and others. And then they said they were taken over by a certain king, and then that all disappeared, and then they're coming back. So it gets a little convoluted, to say the least. But here's what we do know. This is Vladimir the Great, from around the time of 980 AD, about 1,000 years after Christ walked the earth. And the symbol here is the same as the UK crane flag. And it even says that it is Khazar inspired, the Khazar inspired trident. Now I'll let you do your own research on who exactly the Khazarians were and their religion, their belief systems. I'll let you go down that rabbit hole. There's plenty of information on the internet. But it does not appear to be good. So to assume that this information has absolutely nothing to do with the current conflict would be an insincere conclusion, wouldn't it? There's a lot of history here. Now, Khazariel has been noticeably silent on everything going on in the UK crane. Almost eerily so. Here's some headlines. This raises some questions, because they always have something to say with things close to their home, don't they? Look at some of these headlines. Lawmakers are starting to grumble about Khazariel's lack of action in the UK crane. They also seem to be complaining about a rare wave of non-bluish refugees. Also, here's a memorial that got hit in the UK crane, and they don't want to talk about it. Not a lot of information out there from Khazariel, is there? No comments, and noticeable lack of, any type of involvement in this, which is not typical. They're not like a neutral nation that does not comment on these kinds of conflicts. Now, here's something else I noticed, or one of you guys actually noticed this. The Smack the Nation rates in the UK crane are the lowest of pretty much most of Europe. Here's the map here. Let's zoom this out so you guys can see this. Zoom it up. Let's do this. So here's the UK crane. They're sitting at about 34%. Smack the nation. Here is Romania. They're higher, as are almost all of the other countries. Poland, almost 60%. The only one that falls below the UK crane is countries like Bulgaria, a very tiny country there, and this country here, Bosnia and Herzegovina, fall below the UK crane. But look at the size of UK crane, obviously much larger, with the least smack the nation rates. So what does all this mean? Well, I don't really know. It's interesting, though, that they're sitting on the border here with Russia, with less than a third of their population smack the nated. So you're going to have to draw your own conclusions from that and what that might mean.